Hey guys, it's Chels, and in today's YouTube video, it is going to be a Q&A. I asked you guys on Instagram to send me a bunch of your trading questions so that I can answer it for you here. I'm super excited about that because there is a lot of good questions that you guys are asking when it comes to trading. I want to be able to just give my personal opinion on a lot of the questions that you guys have asked. We are all our own individual trader at the end of the day, so any of my personal opinions that I may have on some of the questions that you are asking does not mean that everyone else has the same opinion. Every time I almost get a payout, I blow the account. How do I cross this hurdle? So personally, the reason why someone continues to blow an account when they get close to payout is over leveraging. It is your emotions attaching to the fact that you want to get a payout. And I feel like that also stems from desperation. I tell people this all the time. When you're trading, you want to trade from a place that is stress-free. You don't want to trade when you're stressed and you need the money, because that's going to pressure you to make decisions that might not be the best because you're thinking more so about the money, and that's where your emotions get attached. You want to be able to trade stress-free. And a lot of the times to get over that hurdle is to significantly cut your risk or significantly lower your risk when it comes to the type of positions that you are placing. It's super important to make sure that you have consistent and reliable income coming in and you're not just relying on trading 100%. And I feel like a lot of beginner and even intermediate traders and seasoned traders forget about this. No matter how good you are with trading, it can still get to you, right? The emotions still get to you on a daily basis, whether we're winning or losing. We need to treat them the same way, winners and losers. Know that even if you were to lose this trade or even the account, that it wouldn't affect anything in your life, right? Versus someone that is trading out of desperation because they need the money for, let's say, rent or bills. That puts so much more pressure on them that they're more than likely to blow the account. I think when it comes to getting an actual payout and paying yourself out, the most important thing to remember is to significantly cut your risk and go in the opposite direction of that rather than over leveraging because you want or need that payout. Eventually, if you continue to stick to the same process, over time, it's going to happen. Which broker or prop firm you trade with? Currently, broker-wise, I do trade futures and Forex. For futures, I do use A&P Futures. For Forex, my broker will actually be linked in the description below. They do offer a 100% deposit bonus and they are available on TradeLocker. That is the only platform that I'm currently using right now for Forex. Do you just trade Asia Gold? No, I do not. As far as asset wise, I do trade US 30 and gold, but those are pretty much the two main assets that I do trade. This past year in 2025, I was mainly trading gold for a majority of the year. I only started looking at US 30 again towards the ending of the year, but I also was trading US 30 the beginning of the year. But midway through the year, majority of the year, I was mainly trading gold. Gold during Asian session is always a banger for me. So I will always trade gold during Asian. I don't really trade gold during New York. And more than likely, I will trade US 30 during New York. Sometimes US 30 can have its moments where there will be a decent move during Asian, but it's not ideal to really get into positions like that on US 30, especially during Asian session, because it does move a bit slower. There will be consolidation before something happens. And more than likely, you'll get a better move during the open of London or pre-London, which is the last hour of Asian going into London. How long did it take for you to be profitable? This took me about 2 to 2.5 years to be profitable, not consistently profitable. And I believe that there's a difference between the two. To me, profitable is you see money coming in. Any type of money that you make, that's being profitable. Now, whether or not you're consistently profitable, that is a different story. It took me 2 to 2.5 years to even see money. When it came to me being consistently profitable, that took me about an extra 1.5 years after. And the income wasn't even large at first, right? It started very, very small, and gradually I continued to work my way up. But there's a really big difference in someone who's profitable and someone who is consistently profitable, because everybody can be profitable at the end of the day. As a beginner, can I use $100 at a time to learn to trade? Will I still make money? You won't make money. You will probably blow that $100 multiple times, okay? And that's just me being real, but you can absolutely start with $100. Now, when it comes to trading, again, I do trade both. I trade futures and I trade Forex. Now, in order to deposit into both, the return, I think you're going to get a better return trading Forex, because you have a higher leverage when it comes to trading Forex versus futures. So I think when you're learning out, it doesn't really matter what market you start with, because I do believe that any market that you start with, you're going to have to learn how to read charts. You're going to have to learn risk management, all these different factors. And once you do, and once you master one and you can see consistent results with that, you can always move to the next market if you want to. Yes, I do believe that you can start with $100. You can start with $100. As far as making money with it as a beginner, you're more than likely to blow that $100. You're definitely going to feel discouraged in the very beginning, especially when you do start losing money, but it's honestly part of the process. It's part of the journey. And as long as you continue to push forward, always being a student, you're gonna get to where you want to get to. What initially got you interested in trading? This was a little after I had graduated from high school. I was going to community college at the time. And honestly, I hated my job. I don't know if majority of you guys know, but I worked at Chuck E. Cheese when I was 18. And then I tried a whole bunch of retail jobs, but I just hated it, right? And that's when I just started doing a lot more research. And at the time, this was back in 2018, there was not a lot of remote jobs. Not a lot of people were even trading back in 2018 as far as on social media. So it wasn't something that someone like you and I could just come across of back in 2018. Nowadays, there's a lot of educators, there's a lot of courses, there's a lot of information online that you can find nowadays. For me, I had came across of it because I did have a friend on Facebook. She was a single mom. She was working from home and still being able to be a full-time mom to her child. I can only imagine what it's like to be a full-time parent and also having to work, but having that time freedom. And I think that's what initially attracted me. I could never stick at a job, guys, for more than a year, like a year or two. 2 years was like my cap, and I would just get bored and I would not want to do it anymore. It was IML back in the day. I don't even know if they're still around, honestly, but I joined that for about 3 to 4 months and I quit right after because I didn't learn anything as far as trading from that. That initially sparked my interest because it was about trading, it was about education. Found some information online and I just started to study it. I started to figure out all these different components when it came to trading, and I had no knowledge of it, guys, no idea what I was looking up, but I knew it was something that I was willing to give a try and wanted to try, and I honestly ended up really loving trading, actually having a passion for it, actually having a real interest in it. It wasn't boring to me to look at the charts. At first it was super confusing, right? You're looking at a chart and you don't even know what you're looking at. But I think just understanding it over time, you gain more confidence, made it more exciting, at least for me. And obviously when the money starts coming in, you realize that you really can make money on your own time. And you're the one that is making the money, nobody else. And so that's what I loved about it. Do you only trade gold or do you trade Forex pairs as well, such as GBP USD, Euro USD? I actually started off with Forex. So yes, I have traded GBP USD and Forex pairs as well. Honestly, my main pairs before I had US 30 and just gold, it was actually GBP USD. I used to trade a lot of GBP USD, GBP JPY, and those are also really good during Asian as well. Is trading all mental? I've been stuck on my model, been kind of confused on what to do. Trading is 90% mental. You can argue that it's 80 to 90% mental, and the rest is technical, which is only maybe 10 to 20% technical. I don't think it's hard at all to learn how to read a chart. It's not hard at all to identify patterns on a chart, but the hardest part is learning when to actually get into the market and when to exit the market. And that requires a lot of mental skill. And you're never going to have these things packaged from the start because you're going to build these along the way. And that's just the journey of a trader. That's the journey of learning something new. And not just in trading, any skill set that you do learn, you're going to learn how to get better at it and build skills as you go along. And so that's the same with trading. But I don't want to say it's all mental because there's people out there that, unfortunately, that's never really going to understand how to read a chart. How did you manage your psychology throughout your trading journey? Constant personal development. And what that looks like is you taking the initiative to feed your mind with all the right things, because that is the only way that you're going to grow. Our brain is a muscle, right? We want to think of it that way. So the same way that you would be going to the gym to grow your muscles is the same things that you need to be doing for your brain and for your mental to be able to grow as a trader and as a person. The more that it can develop and really be able to strengthen those mental skills when we are trading, all those emotions that us traders go through when it comes to execution, and more that you listen to specific things, it's subconsciously going to already be in your mind. The person that's going to succeed is the person that is delusional, because they're delusional enough to never give up on themselves. And that's what you need. And so that push that you need is constant reassurance, constant encouragement. And you can get that from books, personal development books, and even around the company that you allow, right? Look into your group or circle of friends or people that you surround yourself with. Like I said, if they're a bunch of losers that don't have any goals in life, don't take things serious, then more than likely you're going to be the same way, because naturally you're around them a lot. So when you're naturally around a person a lot, you tend to pick up on their tendencies and their routine and what they do. And that ultimately affects your life. And that's what you're going to do in your life. But if you're around someone that just challenges you and you're not used to it, and let's say you don't want to do the things that they're doing, but you do it anyway because they're a good influence and they want you to be doing it with them, that's a really good friend. That's people that you want to continue to surround yourself with. Filling my mind and surrounding myself with great people and a great environment and just learning. Why do you only use black candles? I ended up switching my candlesticks to all black a few years ago. And the reason why I did that was because personally for me, I kept focusing much more on how a candle was closing and printing than structure. And so structure is very important to me. It's also important to me on how a candlestick closes as well. But I think I personally was putting way too much emphasis on if a candlestick was closing bullish, that it would trigger me to get into a position way too early. So it would trigger that FOMO for me. It's very self-aware, and I knew what triggered me and what caused me to maybe enter in positions a lot earlier than I would have. And that was ultimately the color of the candlestick. What's your fave kind of trading? I don't exactly know what you mean by this, but if you mean style, scalping all the way. When did you first ever hear about trading? Back in 2018. What broker do you use? Again, my broker is going to be linked in the description below. From the starting up to now, have you seen a change in your character? I feel like trading really exposes you as you're on this journey. You don't know how much you need improvement on yourself until you start losing money. And that is the crazy thing, because again, trading is literally the only career or job in the world that you make money off of your own effort. So anything that you do, any loss or win that you take, it's because of you. And so you'll realize, especially when you have those losers, why you're losing them. You know, it'll show you that you're an impatient person. Maybe you're someone that tends to always want a revenge trade, or, you know, you have that greed and you don't know how to control it or deal with it. And it's not just because of the charts. It's because that's really who you are as a person outside of the charts. And so I feel like when you understand that, again, understanding your triggers and knowing yourself as a person, then that translates into trading. And so over the years, as you're on this journey, you just start to develop better character, because when you get better at trading, you ultimately are better as an individual person along the way. And so yes, my character has definitely changed, guys. Is it best to stick to one pair? I think when you're a beginner, sticking to one pair might be the best bet for you, because you are still learning. So there's really no reason for you to look at any other pairs. You're just trying to understand how the candlesticks are moving, structure, price action. And so I think if you're a beginner, it's great to stick with one pair. But as you get more seasoned, I think it's great to add at least, or having at least 2 to 3 as you're more seasoned, because let's say one of your pairs is not looking the best and you don't like it at all and you can't find no setup and it's just not ideal to trade, especially in the type of market environment, then I think having 2 to 3 pairs is good for that as well. Just being able to rotate between the 3 based on what has has the best structure at that moment. How much time does it take to become profitable? Honestly, that really depends on you as an individual. Some people take 10 plus years to get to that point of being consistently profitable, which is crazy, but I definitely commend those that have been in the game for over 10 years, stuck that shit out, and finally made themselves profitable. But then you also have people that are so diligent, so committed to the process, and have great work ethic that they have became profitable, consistently profitable within 3 years or less, sometimes even 2, so it really depends on yourself as a person, your work ethic. You can't be lazy when it comes to stuff like this. You can't be lazy in general when it comes to wanting to master a certain skill. And so trading is no exception. I left school for trading and my family hates me for doing that. Do you think I chose the wrong path? I can relate to this in so many ways. My family never hated me for pursuing trading, but I think a lot of us can relate to the fact that our family is not as supportive when it comes to trading. You get more support from strangers online, traders online that you don't even know, over close friends and family when you tell them that you're pursuing trading, or trading is something that you're actively working on, trying to be consistently profitable with that to replace your full-time job or income. And that's natural because family, they always want to protect us. And sometimes it stems, I would hope, from a good place. But at the end of the day, there is some family members that might be envious of the fact that you are learning something like this, and they don't think that you as a person can even achieve such a big thing like this, right? It depends on the family, right? Whether that comes from truly being overprotective and a loving place that they don't want to see you fail, or it could just be from a place of jealousy and they don't want to see you succeed. I don't think that you chose the wrong path. If you truly feel like this is something that you can commit to and you want to commit to, then I say do it, and don't care about what anybody else thinks, because it's your life at the end of the day and you have to do what's best for you. Whether you fail, continue to fail, because you're never gonna know what's right for you unless you keep failing at something. How did you stop overtrading and improve your entry? I never really had an issue when it came to overtrading. My issue was over leveraging. That was a big issue of mine when I first started and before I came profitable, but it is still one of my biggest struggles to this day, even being in the game for over 7+ years at this point, going on 8. Over leveraging is something that I still deal with, right? I'm not perfect, so I still have and make these mistakes, but I've definitely minimized them from what it was when I first started. I'm a person that likes to take risks. I'm not afraid of taking risks, and my risk appetite is very big, so I can handle that mentally. Some people just can't handle that mentally, but that is one of the things that I struggled with. But improving my entry, yes. For me, how I improved my entry over time was studying liquidity. And to me, liquidity, the foundation of liquidity, the reasoning behind liquidity is more psychological than it is technical. And that's when I started diving really deep into that. And that is something that if you're a student of mine, you know that I preach day in and day out, because once you truly understand that, and it's going to take some time to understand it. Sometimes it's going to take people years to understand it because you're going through the motion. But when you truly understand it and the reasoning behind it, like I said, it's a lot more psychological than it is technical. And so that ultimately just helped me improve my entries, not from a technical standpoint. It was more so from being a lot more patient and understanding why certain things may happen in the market, and just being more patient on that and waiting, a lot more waiting. And that is all the questions I'm going to be answering for this Q&A, guys. You guys had a lot of really, really good questions. A lot of us can relate to the questions and also to the answer. If you keep going, you're going to reach the goals that you set out for yourself with trading. Trading is not impossible. Anybody can do it. If I can do it, guys, you can do it. And so it's just a reminder at the end of the day, going through all these questions is really a reminder of how possible it is for the average person. I am just an average person. And I really want more people to look at me in that way. I was just like you, struggling, getting by from paycheck to paycheck, and really questioning whether or not trading was actually for me. And I'm telling you right now, as long as you don't give up, you will get there. That is all dependent on you. Getting up and not being lazy to do all these things is going to make the biggest difference. But the main thing is just obviously to never give up. If you guys found value in this video, please go ahead and follow me on all my socials. The link to my socials will be down below in the description, as well as the broker that I do use. So thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video.